In World War II there were 12 airfields in the New Forest area. 2 of these, Calshot and Christchurch, are existing airfields. The rest were built specifically for wartime use. There's not much evidence of most of these left now. The most westerly airfield was built at Hurn, west of the River Avon. If you go there, you won't find a World War II airfield. What you will find is Bournemouth International Airport. Here, though, there are still examples of wartime airfield buildings in an adjacent private industrial estate. We can still see evidence of some of the other airfields. If you travel along the road from Beaulieu to Lymington, you'd be forgiven for thinking that nothing much happens across the heathland. If you view the area from above, though, a different view appears. This Google Earth view shows what remains of Beaulieu Airfield. This is how it looked when it was being built in 1942. RAF Beaulieu was a Class A airfield, built and opened in 1942. It was used by the RAF before it was handed over to the US Air Force in 1944. The airfield was used by both fighter and bomber squadrons. Today we can still see evidence of the airfield. This tarmac area is the end of one of the runways and is used by a model aircraft club. If we walk along the runway, we'll see that most of it has been returned to its natural state. The gorse bushes haven't really taken over along the original runways, which is why we can still see the outline from the air. A track runs around the perimeter of the airfield, and on the opposite side we can see evidence of the buildings that stood here. If you look hard enough in this area, you can find the letters BL made of concrete and set into the ground. This is located in front of where the airfield control tower once stood. BL was the airfield pundit code. All the airfields had one, much like a postcode. It helped airborne aircraft identify the airfield. The what 3 words location of the BL letters is exactly .commuted.goggle. In the New Forest, most of the soil is acidic, so the indigenous plants are acid-loving plants. The World War II runways that were here were made of concrete, which is alkaline. When the runways were taken up, the soil remained alkaline, and this is why the gorse bushes haven't really grown back over the runways, and why we can still see the runway outlines today. Stony Cross is the site of another Class A World War II airfield. Here's what it looked like when it was being built. And this is what it looks like on Google Earth today. We can still see the outlines of the runways. And this is what you'll see on the ground. We're now walking south on the north-south runway. In its peak there are about 600 buildings here, so this was a big airfield. Thousands of people were based here, military and civilian. There's still evidence of some of these buildings to be seen today. If we walk further along, we come to this road junction. The main east-west runway was to the left of the road as we look at it. This is the Google Earth view again. Look at the lollipop shapes at the bottom of the image. These were dispersal areas where some of the aircraft were parked. There are several of these around the airfield, so that not all of the aircraft were parked together in case of attack. This is the top of an anchor bolt that aircraft would have been tied down to. Today this area is Ocknall Campsite. I wonder how many of the campers here know the history of the place where they park their camper vans. The what three words location for the entrance to Ocknell campsite is showed.bunny.financial. If we walk towards these trees, we'll see some more evidence of the wartime airfield. This area was a living area, and this particular part was the WAAF area, the Women's Auxiliary Air Force. The tiles that we can see here were part of the floor of the WAAF's washroom. As we walk back out of the trees, we can see a line of concrete. This is part of the foundations of one of the aircraft hangars. Nearby is the road to Long Beach campsite. Here we can see these concrete roads, which were service roads and hard standing for the aircraft during the war. Not far away, we can see the outline of the foundations of another airfield building. If you visit Stony Cross then, keep your eyes open, as you never know what you might see beneath your feet. This is the Google Earth view of the old Holmsley South World War II airfield, between Lyndhurst and Christchurch. Once again, we can see the outline of the runways. If you go there, you can still see some evidence of the runways at ground level. More importantly, what you will see here is the Airfields Memorial. This memorial was raised by the Friends of the New Forest Airfields and is dedicated to the servicemen and women who served in the New Forest during the Second World War. It was unveiled in August 2002. A striking Dakota propeller is mounted on the front of the large broad wall, and the names of the airfield sites are inscribed on 12 plaques. A map shows the positions of the airfields across the forest and the surrounding area. The what three words location is regal.itself.hurls. After the war, there was a housing shortage because many cities and towns had been bombed. Temporary accommodation was arranged in remaining airfield nissen huts on the local World War II airfields. This was seen at Holmsley South, which became known locally as Tin Town, and also at Stony Cross Long Beach site and Beaulieu airfield. Families lived on these sites until the mid-1950s. If you'd like to know more about the New Forest World War II airfields, I've added some links in the text below. I particularly recommend the videos and websites of Mark Highway. Search on YouTube for @TR Explorer UK. There's a link in the text below as well. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have, please consider subscribing to our channel to see more videos about living in the New Forest. Thanks for watching.